Hi, welcome to this video where we're going to talk about impairing assets and zombies. How can you not love that? We're going to talk about one of the craziest stories I think I've ever heard with asset impairments using a company that's local to DC. And so buckle up, it's going to be fun. So first, zombies are really important. We got to talk about zombies. Zombies are very relevant to accounting. No, I'm just joking. We're going to talk about zombie satellites. You're like, wait, zombie satellites? Are they from another planet? Are they full of half-dead humans waiting to attack Earth? No. Zombie satellites are satellites that we put up in space that don't work. They just float in space and they're just there. And we're going to talk about specifically the Intellistat's Galaxy 15 satellite. You might know Intellistat from their building along the 495 as you come down and cross over the Potomac from Baltimore to Virginia. You'll see right around Tyson's Square area, you'll see the Intellistat's building. They have their big name up there. This is one of their satellites, and it turned into a zombie. So they spent millions and millions of dollars throwing this thing up into space, hundreds of millions of dollars, throwing it up into space, and then they go to press the button to turn it on, and it doesn't work. Like it doesn't even start up. Like they're like, oh wait, did you press the button? Yeah, I pressed the button. Oh, press it again. Okay, try to reboot it.
Well, did you check the battery?
And they can't do it. They can't get it on. All right. So on April 5th, 2010, the Galaxy 15 ceased responding to commands sent to it by controllers on the ground. It became a zombie. This was a technical error. It just got thrown up into space, okay? And fortunately for us, Intellistat is a publicly traded company, all right? So they threw this thing up into space. On December 9th of 2010, they're coming down to like the wire of reporting, and so that they're having all these issues because they've got this floating satellite that's going up to space, right? They got this floating satellite. They got to figure out like other satellites that are in the way. And so it was reported that the Galaxy 15 had potentially caused an outage in the weather service. Well, what had happened is that what they needed to do is it was floating and the satellite was going to crash with another satellite. They had to contact the other satellite people and tell them, hey, can you move orbit and come back down? Crazy stuff. On December 31st, 2010, Intellistat successfully regained control over the satellite and the baseband equipment of the command unit. Basically what happened is they had to wait for a hard reset. The satellite was going to be blocked by the Earth and power down and then reboot in the sun. And it's so weird that this works for technology. You just, turn it off and turn it back on, it might work again. And that's what happened. The crazy thing is that you think from April to December, they're a publicly traded company, they did not know what was going to happen. And it looked like they just threw up a big piece of junk into space that wasn't going to work for them. And fortunately for us, they're a publicly traded company, and they had to report it, and they had to decide whether or not there was ever going to be probable future economic value from this satellite. Well, in December, it seemed like there would be. And in April, they were very scared that there wouldn't be. And so this is what they did. They actually had to record an impairment of this asset. They had to impair this asset because they didn't. It wasn't likely that they were going to regain control of it. This is from their footnote. All right, so you can go look this up and see. We also recorded a non-cash impairment charge of $104 million for the impairment of our Galaxy 15 satellite after an anomaly occurred in April 2010, resulting in our inability to command the satellite. All right, so now here's an important thing. If you ever screw up, if you throw in that word anomaly, it really makes it feel like it's not you, right? It's like, oh, when my wife gets mad at me, maybe I should toss in, that was kind of an anomalous comment, definitely not consistent with my normal, it's anomaly. It's an anomalous thing, right? You might want to try throwing that in. The choice of words here, they crafted this note. Oh, they were on this. It was an anomalous event. This isn't a common thing. This is an anomaly where we burn $104 million by throwing junk into space. Crazy. Anyway, so we recorded a non-cash impairment charge of $104 million for impairing our Galaxy satellite after an anomaly occurred in April of 2010, resulting in our inability to command the satellite. When the Galaxy 15 anomaly occurred, there was a substantial uncertainty as to our ability to recover the use of satellite. They didn't know if they'd have any future economic value there. And accordingly, we recognized an impairment during the second quarter of 2010. So they saw, hey, look, we don't think we're going to get the satellite back because we screwed up, right? I wish these things, it'd be great. It's like, we really screwed up. We did something wrong, right? But, oh no, it's an anomaly. And then on December 23rd, 2010, our Galaxy 15 satellite was recovered and extensive in-orbit testing was subsequently completed to determine its functionality. In February 2011, the Galaxy 15 initiated the drift into the 133rd West parallel, whatever that is, and returned to service initially as an in-orbit spare. In October 2011, the media traffic was transferred from the Galaxy 12 back to the 15, and it resumed normal service. We do not currently anticipate any future impairment charges related to the Galaxy 15. See critical accounting policies. Now, here's the thing. We don't expect any future impairment charges. Why? Because they already impaired it. If you recall, if you write the asset down in the United States, you don't get to write it back up. So yeah, they threw a satellite into space. It wasn't working. And then so they had to write down $104 million. And then they look like even worse because guess what? Oh, no. It started working again and they've already impaired the asset. So right now they have an asset. I don't know if it's still in service because this was in 2010. But shortly after this, they had an asset that wasn't really valued on their books, but was useful and something they were using that technically had a value of $104 million that they had capitalized from all the investment in developing the satellite. So this all of a sudden makes all of their metrics and anything associated with analyzing the company go bazonkers, right? Because you got $104 million that's just not on the books. So this is the type of thing that really illustrates, like this is an extreme example of what happens when we capitalize assets and we have to impair them. They thought the value wasn't there. They have to report to investors that the value isn't there. And so they had this big old piece of junk in space. They impaired it down and then they flicked a switch or whatever they did to reset it. And then the value's back, but their accounting books don't allow the value to go back because they already impaired it. You don't get it allowed to come back up. Pretty interesting stuff. All right. The crazy thing is that this is not the only zombie out there. All right. Amos 5 suffered sudden onboard failure, likely complete loss. Crazy. Zombie satellite Spacecom Amos 5 declared a permanent loss eventually after they did this investigation. These things happen. This is like crazy, right? Crazy impairment stories from accounting. Zombie satellites. Anyway, I thought you'd find that interesting. It's just one of the craziest stories out there related to it. So yeah, I thought you'd appreciate it. And yeah, if we have an asset, a piece of factory equipment, if it's not valuable, if it's lost value, we got to impair it. We got to write it down and take a loss. That's what we do. See you in the next video where we talk about depreciation.